no way, we don't have any new business. There's no way to, revise this agenda and put a new topic on here?
No, but you're welcome to speak on anything you want during member comments.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and call the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mary Alice Adams,
Present.
Ivy Chandler,
Here.
Satana Warren,
Present.
Miguel Clark,
Here.
Emma Kennard, James Childs, Emma Hall. And Chair Hall did call and let me know that she wouldn't be able to make it. She had a family funeral.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead on and move on to the review of minutes from June 12th, pages 3 through 6.
So I will just mention that I was not here at that meeting. I had notes from David, and I did listen to this. But maybe if you want to take a look at this a little closer.
Thank you.
Well, that's what it says, page 3 through page 6 is the, I need to be talking. Thank you.
I guess we'll talk about it. Oh.
Are we good to move on, or you guys need another minute?
We're
Just perusing.
Okay, so we'll take another minute. Yes.
We're pro-
Did Ivy say she needed
make a
another
motion
minute?
to approve.
No, I'm
Oh.
just perusing the minutes, that's all.
Anybody want a second?
A motion from Adams, support from Clark.
Okay, do we need to do the roll, or should I move on?
Roll call.
Roll. Member Chandler,
Yes.
Member Adams,
Yes.
Member Warren,
Yes.
Member Clark.
Yes.
Minutes are approved, 4-0.
No action.
Okay. All right. Next on our agenda is communications.
So I just wanted to mention that I was contacted by Ashley Hines of the CDC, and she has a project on Empire, and so we did have a meeting to kind of briefly discuss that and see if there might be some potential Brownfield support, and I sent her a project application that she's working on. So no action at this time. I'm just keeping the board informed that those conversations have started. One other thing that's not on your agenda, but I
Wait.
did want to mention.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
Ms. Hines contacted you. She did not come before this board. I mean, is this something that costs?
It's not ready to come before the board. Once she has
Okay,
a
but her
project
communication
application,
with
it
you-
would.
Her communication with you, did that cost us?
I mean, I'm billed on time and
Okay,
material,
so what I'm
so
saying is, in times past, and that's just the way we've done things, before we just have people just out of nowhere contacting you, they come before this board and we give approval, Madam Chair.
Therese, can you speak to that? I don't really remember.
Well, I do.
I believe I've heard this board say when people come at public comment that they should contact
Exactly.
me.
No, that
and-
we give approval
So-
to know that we're going to be charged and paying for.
So this
Your time.
was only initial conversation.
Okay, well, that's what I was asking. If it was just an initial conversation, are we, the authority, going to have to pay for that initial conversation?
Well, all of my time is ultimately, under the authority. That's what I'm hired to do, but.
This
So-
isn't the first time that this has come up, Madam
So if
through
I,
the chair.
sorry, so if I can just interject here, so all we have to do is go forward, make a clear rule. So if we want to say go forward, if someone reaches out to you, Teresa, if the procedure is, say, can you come to a meeting and speak during public comment, that we can easily just make it a procedure, go forward. I don't think it's a big deal, right? So why don't we do, 'cause
It
I mean,
is.
no, I'm saying go forward, Commissioner. I'm
Yeah,
saying
go
go
forward
forward.
would be-
They come
yeah.
to the meeting and during public comment, they address what they want, and then we can tell them or ask Therese at that time if we feel it's feasible or to speak with Therese. But I'm saying we don't really need to discuss it for 30 minutes. It's already happened, but we can fix it, go forward, I'm saying, if we want to make that a procedure.
I would agree.
I would agree as well, because, and I will reiterate on another conversation that I'm sure we're going to pay for as well with Mr. Bowens, with the Black Caucus. I mean, with the Black Michigan,
Oh, the summit.
exactly. Those conversations as well. But we were aware that, but I don't think we initially gave approval, but I do know that he was trying to get on the agenda and doing things in an orderly manner in which we handle our business.
Yep. So are we all in agreement? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Therese.
So you are absolutely at liberty to make that a policy and a procedure if you so choose. One other comment I will say is that could potentially make your meetings even longer if there's no, initial communication to say, does this seem like maybe it's a right fit or not? If that's all happening within a meeting, so you can choose to do that. That's just another consideration.
One other option would be to set a time limit. So another option would be to say, if it's if it's billable 30 minutes or less, proceed. If it's over that, then come before the board. So we don't necessarily have to go that route. The other route would be if we're going to go ahead and say, hey, Therese, as long as you're not spending 30 minutes on a project that might not even be feasible, go ahead and proceed with 30 minutes. And if it's longer than that, then go before the board. So I'm not saying how we have to do it. I'm just saying we can figure it out right now how we want to do it go forward.
Only thing I have to add to that is just the fact that everybody, and we made it after pulling teeth, this available for everybody to see and to educate the community as to how it works. Everything is on the internet. I mean, I don't want every conversation that the community needs to have with our consultant to have to cost us. That's all I'm saying, because it shouldn't.
Well, I mean, Teresa's here to do a job, and we have to have her to
we
do
go
the
with 30
job.
minutes of it, the very thing that you were talking about, because
So, in my opinion, now that we've looked at this, I do agree that we don't want to sit here for 3 or 4 hours. At least I don't. Let me put my hand up. So,
I'm busy too.
Thank you,
I'm a-
Mr.
I'm a
Luke.
busy
So
woman.
now
Gotta
that
leave at 5.
so now that we've done it, like we've thought about that. So what? So we can. What if we do 15 minutes? 'Cause, I mean, if you have an initial idea, does it take longer than 15 minutes, Therese, to kind of give you the bare bones of it? And can you chime in on how much time you think you need initially?
So I would say 30 minutes is probably pretty good to have a conversation. We
Yeah.
could keep it down to 15 if we have to. Another option, which I proposed in the past, is putting the project application on the website.
I thought it was
Then-
there.
This board voted not to do that because I think there was some thought that then people are filling things out and they don't know what they're doing, and if they could talk to the consultant first, it would help. But I do have some boards that put their application on the website, then they can start to gather the information that we might need, so that's another option as well.
I'm not opposed to putting it on the website because they're not paying the fee quite yet, right? They're just filling the application out. So, does anyone on the board have a comment on how they feel about putting the application on the website?
I thought that,
Commissioner
I
Adams,
thought-
I don't think they can hear you. You got to push the button, right?
no, it's on.
Oh,
It's
okay.
on. I thought that we agreed that it and all documents for this community should be on the website, for people to be able to go over and see exactly what it looks like, the questions that are asked, things that will be needed of them. I mean, that just makes sense. I don't remember this conversation. I would never vote against keeping anything away from the residents
Did anyone
or
else
a developer.
have a comment, Miguel, or you
And it
guys?
should be on the website.
I
That's
just
it.
agree. It
That's- I
should be
mean,
on the website. That to save some time I'm not. I'm busy, guys, just like everybody else, and I ain't trying to be here 3.5, or I ain't trying to be on this
See?
subject no more than we should.
And see,
Yeah.
Okay.
that could have, Madam Chair, could have saved us a little bit of the conversation that we had prior to this one, because it should have been there. I mean,
Okay, so it sounds like it's a consensus. Are we able to get it on the website as soon as possible?
I can send it to Tiffany, and I believe she's the one who would put it up there, but sounds feasible to me.
And then do we want to go ahead and discuss the whole time limit where Therese is allowed to speak to somebody without bringing it to the board? Do we want to say, is everyone okay with 30 minutes?
I'm good with 30 minutes.
I think that to save us money, because it has taken us a very long time to accumulate the money that everybody seems to be running after now. Okay? So I think that it would do us justice for anybody that wants to come through a development agreement with this authority, the city of Benton Harbor, should fill out their application, come forward to this authority and make us aware of exactly what, so that we are all being transparent about conversations,
I got-
period.
So sometime people ain't gonna be able to come forward, so it's probably quicker to talk to Teresa for 15 or 30 minutes based on what they got going on already.
And then just to add to what Miguel is also saying, every project won't even fit. You know, so if it's something that you want to do, just say I'm an investor and I got one house and I'm asking you guys for $1 million. Well, Therese can say it's not going to work, right? So why they for them to come down here and put up a beautiful presentation, or it just would be a waste of their time. So I'm going to go ahead and make a motion, and people can vote that we allow someone to speak with Therese for 30 minutes about their project prior to coming before the board.
That's,
She made a motion.
I made a
You can't
motion,
say
so I need
nothing.
someone to.
I second.
So I made the motion, Miguel seconded. We just need to vote.
Is there any discussion?
Oh, I think,
yes, I'd like to, if we're putting the application online, then I think that it should be some directions there with the application. If there are directions there, the assumption is that someone coming forward to develop has the capacity to read what is required, or what they can come to us about. I think that saves time and money, because if they read there that here's what we're supporting in accordance with the master plan of the city, and their project doesn't fit, then there's no reason to either discuss with you or to cost us anything. And if there are questions as to whether or not their application fits, then they can come. They've got the application, they've filled it out. Before they pay that money for the application, then they can come and say, this didn't seem to fit, or maybe it does, I'm not sure, what do you think? I think we can save time. And
so
money.
I don't agree with that because I'm I'm realistic. We can easily say you should read. Everybody should read. But the reality of it is people a lot of times do not thoroughly read information. A lot of times people might have a question, unless they're a genius. But a lot of times when you're looking at something that you've never looked at before, an application, a document, you may have a question. And the other call out is, even if a person is crystal clear and they fill it out perfectly, who has to review that? Therese does, and we still have to pay her. So I'm not understanding how that's free.
Well, if they're clear, if they're crystal clear, then they submit the application and pay the fee.
No,
That's
we don't
right.
do that. They
Don't
don't
they
have
pay
to
for
pay
those
the fee when they
applications?
submit. Therese, please.
So we don't accept the fee until the project application has been formally considered by this board and accepted. But I will say the application tells you what you need in it.
Yeah.
Understanding how Brownfield can support a project is it's not necessarily a black and white crystal clear issue. I mean, like, people don't grow up in school and say, I want to be a brownfield developer or a brownfield consultant.
Right,
It's
right.
not something that people easily understand and know about if it's not something they work in. So it is often really confusing. People have a project and they say, is this a fit? Is it not? I've heard maybe the Brownfield Authority could help, but it's pretty common for developers to not be sure if it's a right fit. So I absolutely appreciate this board wanting to be conscious of costs. I think having that application up there up front and having the messaging out there that we expect developers to fill that out first will save time and resources. But then allowing that 30 minutes that's been proposed would at least save some time within a public meeting to have that initial discussion of, is it worth bringing it to the board, or it doesn't fit within the program?
So we'll take one more comment and we're going to have to move on. Commissioner Adams, please.
No, we're in debate, so it may require more. But
So we do have a motion
initial-
on the floor, which
Yes.
we will need to vote on.
Yes. And you just pretty much touched base on it, Teresa. And maybe I wasn't clear, so let me try this again. The application should be on the site. And everybody that has come through here is aware of what they're coming through here for, because they're aware of what this board is for. They usually have attorneys that they pay for. And they know what they actually want. And they come forth and let this authority know what their plan is. We give approval, our consultant takes it from there. Now, that's where that 30-minute may come in at. You get that opportunity to go over that application and have that conversation with them, but you're keeping the application and you take it from there. I mean, is that hard to understand?
Are you agreeing with the 30 minutes or disagreeing? Because now I'm confused
No,
on your
I'm talking about
stance.
the order of. I'm not talking about the 30 minutes ahead of time. I want to know. See, too much stuff is going on in Benton Harbor that you may not be privy to, that we don't know what's going on. But this is a part of being transparent and open and knowing what's going on in our community. Me, as an elected official, as a taxpayer, as a Benton Harbor resident, I want to know why it was a street. It used to be 5 streets right there. We didn't know that one of them was being exonerated. And for safety purposes, it shouldn't have been. But I'm just saying, we need to know, I want to personally, and the residents that I represent want to too. So I would like to see anybody that has an idea that wants to develop to come through that door to this authority and make us aware of it. And that's when that conversation with our consultant should take place. And if they come with the application, the same thing. That opens the door and the window for that 30-minute conversation.
Okay, Therese, then after Therese Miguel.
Just a point of order, we do have a motion on the floor, so we should keep all discussion specifically related to this motion. We can vote on it. Board is at liberty to vote it up or down. The current motion on the floor, we've already agreed that the application will go on the website, and the motion is to allow 30
Yep,
minutes.
and she has another
For
question.
an applicant
he's
to
next,
come
if that's
to-
okay.
Yeah, but she has one too.
to speak to the consultant before coming to the board to determine if it
Yeah.
Okay, so
might
Miguel,
be a potential fit.
so Miguel had a comment.
So, Tawisha, I got a question. On average, how many people contact you about Brownfield, Ben Harbor? I know you do enough.
I mean, maybe a couple of months. It kind of depends. Sometimes you have 3, sometimes you might not have any, but I'd say it's very common for that first discussion for a developer to say, I'm not sure if this is a right fit or not. I'm not sure how you can help me. It's not very common, although it does happen,
They come
for
to you.
developers to come and say, I know exactly what I'm asking for and this is it.
Okay, and then Ivy had another question. Okay, so if we can call for the question.
Member Chandler,
I decline to vote on that at this time.
you're abstaining?
I'm staying, yeah.
Okay. Member Adams?
No.
Member Clark?
Yes.
Member Warren?
Yes.
Okay, so, not quite sure how that works with an abstention. So we have 4 is our quorum, 2 is not a majority of the 4. So I would say the motion did not pass.
Can we table it and move it to next meeting?
Well, the
motion.
procedure as is stays the same, correct? Which is they can contact you, because they didn't vote to do it. So now we have no procedure, and as of now, what's continuing to happen continues to happen.
Okay, so if I may, I make a motion that do we need a motion to put that application on the website?
No, it's already taken care of.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna move on. So now we are at public, oh, sorry.
If I may, I
Therese.
apologize, it's not on the agenda, but I did notice afterward, you'll see that the next meeting advertised on here is August 14th. That is the second Thursday. However, in that meeting calendar that we approved before, we said August 7th. I apologize, because that was me that put those dates on there. The 7th is not the second Thursday. We had talked about how that may be a conflict with the National Brownfields Conference. The 14th is the week after, so there's no conflict, and that would be in line with your standard schedule, because the 1st is actually on a Friday.
Yes.
So I just wanted to mention that, since that's technically a different printed
Yeah.
date than we had discussed.
I think we should
previously.
stick to the second week. I don't know why we decided to do August the first week.
I believe that was my mistake. I put it
Oh.
on there and no one caught it.
Okay, so can we just stick to the normal calendar, the second week, if that's, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to our public comments. Do we have any public comments?
Yes.
Was I supposed to sign up? I'm sorry. Was there a sign up?
We do have a sign-in sheet, but
Are you the only one? If so, you can come on.
Room full.
normally I have a second chair. My apologies. We can probably pull one up.
Thank you. Trenton asked me to give you these. These are handouts to go to board
Are
members.
there time limits on the public comment?
Yeah, aren't they 3 minutes? Yeah, 3 minutes. And so I don't know who knows how to work that clock.
I don't know, but it should have been on the agenda for a presentation.
Okay, I don't know, it's not on here, so. Commissioner said it had to be a presentation. Oh, I think I saw that. I saw that email.
And that's something we need to fix too. Yeah. We used to put something on the
Give me just
agenda,
a minute to
and how
get
many
these
people
passed out.
approve it.
If you want to set a timer.
It's getting out of hand.
Yeah, I think it's fine. If it was
Getting
10
and got out of
people,
hand.
like one person, and then all that, and now they can still contact you and spend 2 hours. Like, I don't get it.
Oh, okay.
Or electronic, you know.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what this is.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tracy Ann Bullocks, and I sit before you actually in place of Trenton Bowens. We are with both NOR, Neighbors Organizing Against Racism, and the Michigan Black Summit, gearing up for our 4th summit in 2026. We are very grateful for past partnerships of the City of Benton Harbor with the summit, and specifically with the Brownfield Board. I sit before you, though, this afternoon to present to you a proposal for further consideration, and conversation betwixt and between yourselves in regards to a partnership, once again, between the Michigan Black Summit and the City of Benton Harbor to launch a campaign entitled, as noted on the cover page, Imagine Benton Harbor. This would be a targeted campaign that is designed to attract investment, promote brownfield redevelopment, and position Benton Harbor as a key city for economic opportunity. We envision this happening through means of marketing, storytelling, immersive tours, leadership events, and this campaign then would drive interest from developers and investors, state and nationwide, elevate community pride, and promote equitable redevelopment. Our initiative, includes regional marketing, community leadership events, curated infrastructure tours, and a 2-day summit experience with workshops and gala events, i.e. the Michigan Black Summit. We do have for your review in there a budget, the total overall budget that we are proposing for this and for the summit including, which we're not asking for complete sponsorship, but what we're looking at is $59,750. With the anticipated outcomes including increased investor interest, media visibility, and stronger public and private partnerships. Just a few things, I don't know with my timer how much time I have left, but the purpose of this partnership would be to promote the brownfield redevelopment within the city of Benton Harbor to a vast and wide network, both state and nationally, to connect local leaders with regional and national networks, to boost investor interest and reposition Benton Harbor as a city and port of opportunity, and to showcase community assets and potential for equitable development. It's a multi-pronged initiative that can market Benton Harbor as a rising city of opportunity, using various mediums such as storytelling and visual campaigns to highlight redevelopment zones, to offer immersive on-site infrastructure tours, and to leverage Black Summit exposure to drive long-term investment dialogue. I think that's pretty much a synopsis in a nutshell.
Okay, does the board have any questions or comments?
Yes.
Ivy?
And what is it you're asking from the city?
For fiscal and financial sponsorship and partnership. It is delineated and outlined in the actual plan.
Well, I see the budget as
Oh,
the
you're asking
total.
for the actual number?
I see the number of the total budget. What are you asking the city for? What do you want the city to?
So what we are asking, and give me a second to go back because I am just a representative, but I do, I believe, have a specific ask. So this portion, it said 59,750. What we have targeted and projected for our actual summit, everything included, is 90,000. So far, we've raised 15,000. So we are looking for as much as the Brownfield Board and Authority is able to contribute to this cause and to this initiative based upon this specific campaign. So I don't know that there's just a set, we're not asking for $250, but we would like to begin a conversation about what it would realistically and feasibly look like to partner and to promote Imagine Benton Harbor.
I don't know who was first, so
Go ahead.
Miguel?
So are you kind of partnering with Brownfield or are you kind of partnering with the city?
With the Brownfield Redevelopment Board.
Okay. Because I didn't get the chance to make it to the workshops or nothing. And then I think I seen a post say City of Benton Harbor, but I don't see nothing say Brownfield Board Authority.
Are you talking about from last year's summit?
Yes. I'm saying our Brownfield will be
So the
promoted
Brownfield,
this
yeah,
year?
so the Brownfield will be highlighted. That's the reason why I'm here at the Brownfield Board meeting as opposed to the commission meeting, because this is for redevelopment, but as it relates to Brownfield.
So we will be in the advertising.
Oh, and yes.
Okay. 'Cause I don't remember seeing it last
And
year.
I'm not going to lie to you right now. I can't remember off the top of my head either. That was some time ago.
Commissioner Adams?
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And being transparent, something that's very important to me and those that I represent in the city of Benton Harbor. I've asked questions about this when someone asked me for the guidance of what they thought that they should do. And I geared them here and some other places as well for sponsorship. I think that this right here is a perfect opportunity for the city of Benton Harbor's Brownfield Authority and others to get on board with all of the snag-a-tooth land that we have and more coming with homes that we just approved to be torn down, to do some advertising. And I've been, as a planning and zoning commissioner, and listening to the other arms of the city, as well as transportation, is what I do. and what I have ever since I've been down there since 2002. And putting things together to make sure that they work for the least of us, actually the all of us. And that's to actually do some advertisement that came about with a flyer that Mr. Little presented us with. And it was smart, but I think that this is a way to advertise, educate the community and the cities and state at large. Because when I asked the question about the amount, it was kind of brilliant being a leader of some other organizations of how we get funding and put our advertisement up and down 94 on the big billboards to attract development. Because that's what we need. I don't have any money. Anybody else got any for development? I don't. So I think that it's time we start reaching broader than just local, little bitty, we need some big arms to come in here and get some stuff done so that we can further train some of our youth when it comes to construction, when it comes to carpentry, when it comes to a lot of stuff. I think that this can be an avenue to attract others to be like Ben Harbor. I've heard so much about it because when they do, they've been hearing like the meeting that took place last night. We don't want that type of light. We want to shine a brighter light on Benton Harbor, and I think that this right here is one of the ways to do so.
Okay, I'm going to, Mr. Little.
Yes, I'd like to just recommend that you receive this for further consideration.
Yeah.
We have some discussions and
Yeah.
so forth about it.
Yeah.
Let me get you still. Okay, thank you, Tracy. Oh, unless the audience or no? Do we need to?
Typically, public comment
Okay.
is designed where a member of the community can present their
Mm-hmm.
comment to you and you can receive it, so this would be appropriate. You can take some time and review what was provided and decide for subsequent meetings if you want an agenda item,
If-
need anything further, or could take action.
Okay, I think then we're good. Thank you,
All
Tracy.
right, thank you much.
Quick question. Since she said that she was just a spokesperson, can we get her on the agenda for a full presentation? Because I'd like to hear from the mastermind behind this. And I think that everybody else should as well. If he could be put on the agenda, do we need a motion for that?
I think we should check with him to make sure, his schedule, we just don't want to put him on the agenda and we haven't talked to
I
ask him
think that
what
if,
month.
if he knew that he was going to be on the agenda, he can probably work his own schedule.
Okay, so for now, I think I would prefer to discuss that with Trenton versus just randomly putting him on the agenda to see if
That may
it.
cost us.
So you propose putting him on the agenda, not knowing his
He's asked
availability.
to be put on the agenda. He asked to be put on this one.
Why don't we have those internal discussions before we decide on the next step?
Okay, so I guess my question is going to always come back to money because it seems like we spin it real easy when it comes to some things. And is this going to cost us to have further discussions with Teresa?
So I just want to make sure we understand that sometimes we have to spend money. We want to make sure this
No
is
kidding.
ran properly. We don't want to say, instead of using 30 minutes of time, let's do
to
something
hear it.
inappropriately.
I want transparency. I want to hear it, and I want to hear it right here in this room
Okay. So
for my vote.
we're going to go ahead and move on to committee reports, unless there's any further public comments. I'm sorry. Is there any other?
Yeah, just clarify one thing.
Yes.
So, I look back and we did partner with Brownfield, and I remember and recall that, but there was prominent, exposure within the summit's program booklet and workshops that we did with MEDC regarding the Brownfield. So it wasn't just, here's money, we take your money, and we didn't promote the authority. So I just wanted to make that clarification clear, so just so you know, from 2025.
Okay. No other further public comments? Oh, Commissioner? You can come up here, yes.
So, Miss, through the chair, Miss Bullock, you say you're a sports person. Don't you have planned this with, Mr. Trenton?
I say I'm a sports person.
Yeah, you just the spokesperson.
Yeah, I work collaboratively with him, but
Yeah.
he is the chair. I'm the co. And I'm
Okay.
here in his stead as the spokesperson.
Okay, because I know you both playing this, so
Yeah.
that's why I was asking. Okay, thank you.
Okay, before we go on, any other public comments? All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to our committee reports, and it's none on here. So treasurer's report is next, if you guys want to turn to page 7.
So I just want to mention that these financial statements are always a moment in time. So this one is as of June 30th. The balance in the checking account was $438,648.91. And the total in the money market was $366,564. I will point out that we only have checks for the checking account, and this board is very much aware we're working through how to make things move more efficiently, but a transfer has not been made at this point in time to cover that $170,000. So this is a point in time. They're not, in fact, true balances because that transfer hasn't been made yet.
And Therese mentioned that, I don't think we had started the meeting yet, but when we go to the credit union to change the names on the signature, we will do that at that time. And Commissioner Adams.
The 170, is that the one for the demolition?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So, and this board will be discussing annual budgets next month, but here is your statement of income and expense through the end of June, and then for the year, you didn't have any property revenue or application fees that came in June, but for the year, the tax increment, property tax revenue was $272,269.82. Application fees were $1,000. Total interest for the year earned was $7,209.22. I will point out here where it looks like the net income is negative 130. I don't think that's a true value because again, we didn't have that transfer there. So just keep in mind this is a moment in time. And then we can either, I think we typically take action on these separately. If we want to do the financial statements before moving on to the payables.
Do we make a motion or do I get to ask a question now?
For payables or for the statement?
For these, statement.
Okay.
Therese, 402, the property tax revenue, is that what was collected for this year, this summer?
The 272,269,
It's been turned over?
is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
That is for the summer and winter tax collection for 2024.
Oh, okay, not, okay. These are not out yet, okay.
Correct.
Thank you, dear.
So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve.
Motion to support.
And Therese, whenever you're ready, you can call for the question.
Member Chandler?
Yes.
Member Adams?
Yes.
Member Clark?
Yes.
Member Warren?
Yes.
Financial statements are approved 4-0. Moving on to our payables listing, we have 3 invoices. We have your standard invoice from Plant Moran of $550 for processing of accounts payables and preparing financial materials. We have 2 invoices for Fishback. We are typically a month behind. Rhonda Hildebrandt asked if we could get the June one in there since it was fiscal year end for this board. So we did hurry up and finalize that. I will mention that while our advisories can be everything from preparing meeting materials, talking to developers, working on budgets, whatever that is, that's representative of all of this, a significant amount of time in the last couple months was related to the Kings Court housing development and preparing all the documentation needed there. So just something to keep in mind when you choose to grant funds outside of a brownfield plan. There's not an admin fee that helps cover that, so there is a cost associated. So the total July tables is $12,434.75.
Need a motion for that?
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Support.
We have motion from Adams, support from Warren to approve the July 2025 payables listing as presented.
Yes, we can call for the question.
Member Chandler?
Yes.
Member Adams?
Yes.
Member Clark?
Yes.
Member Warren?
Yes.
Payables listing is approved 4-0.
Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to old business.
So I put this under old business because it did appear in your communication last month that the submittal had been received by staff, but we didn't have time to review prior to the meeting. So now here, the review has been complete, and here's your memo dictating that, or detailing that, excuse me. So this was the fourth reimbursement request and the fifth determination regarding the project at 353 West Main Street that was developed by Blue Star 14, which is also associated with Prairie Real Estate Group. And as part of that, we had a maximum amount approved in the Brownfield plan. The development agreement limited that further to $210,296.50. And as several reimbursements have been made, the remaining balance available under that reimbursement agreement is $33,521.20. The costs that were submitted were well above that, as we knew that was the only amount remaining to preserve budget and time. I only reviewed the amount necessary to get to that remaining balance. So staff is recommending the reimbursement of $33,521.20 to Blue Star 14.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion from Member Adams. If you don't have support, the motion will die on the floor.
Oh, sorry. I don't support.
So we have a motion from Member Adams, we have a second from Member Warrens to approve the reimbursement of $33,521.20 to Blue Star 14.
Just call for the question when you're ready.
Member Chandler?
Yes.
Member Adams?
Yes.
Member Clark?
Yes.
Member Warren?
Yes.
Motion approved, 4-0.
And next up, we have the city demo project. Mr. Little.
Yes, I passed out to you a written report on it. Basically, the total project was 15 units that had to be demolished, 10 of which are funded by the CDBG program, and 5 by the 170 that you made available to us. At this point, the contractor Melching is finishing up on the first 10, partly slowed by the requirement for an archaeological monitor, which affects one of the initial 10 and also 2 of the ones that are in the 5 that will be funded by the Brownfield money. I attached the listing where you can see the addresses and what the amount of the bid was on these. The two where you see yes, 12 and 13, those are the ones, again, where we are required by SHPO to have an archaeological monitor, a certified person that meets their requirements to come and be there to observe whenever we get into the ground disturbance phase to see if there are any bones or any kind of items that are found that may have some kind of archaeological value. And lastly, just put pictures in of the units that make up the group that we're going to be demolishing, the remaining 5. Yes, ma'am.
Why is it that the number 14 is like 3 times the cost of the other demolishments?
It depends. Each bidder goes and looks at the environmental evaluation that was done on the property in terms of
That's
how
high.
much stuff they may have to remove or whatnot, and determines whether they can remove it. If they can't, then that unit's gonna have to go to a Class 3 landfill, which is gonna cost probably about 4 times what it would at a regular one. So each one is evaluated individually, and we use as a sounding board, it's a pretty good test that they're on target when we look at, as we did in this instance, 4 or 5 bids. And although the bids are not anywhere close to the same, all of them on that one particular unit is high. And you know that they're looking at the same things on them. But they vary all over depending upon just what they were. As a reminder, we had 5 bidders on the 15 units, and the bids range from the low of, I believe it was 500 and something thousand to the high being 1,000,001. That's the kind of difference there was in the bidding on them.
So just for clarification, I'm not sure that I understand. This particular property at 361 North Winans had some kind of special,
Yeah, there was some special concerns associated with it that caused them to be at high. And most likely, when they're high like that, they most likely has to do with the environmental stuff. The asbestos that either can't be removed and will cause them to have to go to a more expensive landfill or something of that nature, or lead or something like that.
All right, Commissioner Adams.
It was that last part that you just said that my understanding is totally zero about. And only because I've had to go through classes myself for the removal of asbestos because my ex-husband used to work removing asbestos. No, the process is you spray it while you're tearing it down. There's no extra pricing for it.
You can spray friable asbestos to keep
I mean,
it
there
from
are, yeah,
getting
yeah.
in there.
You know what? As long as they're doing it in a manner which is safe for the community, I'm okay.
Therese.
Period. Yeah. Everything
If the
ain't no
board
fight.
has questions that apply to asbestos-related things, I am a certified asbestos
Okay.
inspector
I forgot, yeah.
and contractor supervisor. However, I do just want to remind the board, these costs have been approved,
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah.
for multiple
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
At this point, Mr. Little was just asked to provide an
Yeah.
update on the status of how the project is progressing.
And I appreciate that, but we'll know next time around the why without having to ask, so, okay.
All right. Oh, sorry. I didn't know you
No,
had
no,
another
no.
one.
If,
Go ahead.
are these the ones that we gave approval of?
These are the ones
So we
that
got some
will
money
be-
coming back?
No.
Oh. It says
That amount was not,
157.
See, the rest of it is going to pay the cost of the
Okay.
archaeological monitor.
And Teresa, did you have something to add, or?
I was
Just gonna
the
say-
same thing. Last month, you had the contract, and it also showed the bids from both Melching for this, and it spoke to the archaeological.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move, and Mr. Little, are you all set?
Yes.
We're going to move on to new business, and we don't have any. Next up is our member comments, and we'll go ahead and start with Miguel.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out here, and I'm glad we getting out here at a decent time. God bless.
Okay, next up, we have Commissioner Adams.
Thank you. I have something that I like to say, and I want it on the agenda for discussion. I actually want this on the agenda, this right here. I want this item on our agenda for a full presentation, and I'm going to explain why a little further. Several months ago, I guess it started last year, when I requested the property of 275 Pipestone be purchased. And I'm glad that I didn't move too fast and backtrack and revoked my my motion to purchase, because now it's up for auction and there is no price. And I think that this is a perfect opportunity for this authority to clear the land, to take possession of the land from the county, prepare it for redevelopment. Whether it's a large community center, you would have had to hear the children that was in here last night that read to us. And if you didn't, go back and watch the video. But the cries of our children are beyond this chamber last night. It's throughout the community, and they're just killing each other. Do we continue to let that happen? No, we do what we're elected to, and what these boards and authorities are created for. I want to see that property obtained by the city or this authority, and that property cleaned up to prepare some large developer that may capture the eye of knowing that we're looking for them going down 94. I want to see that on our agenda. And I don't know, the auction is about to take place, but we need to gain possession of that property. And me and Mr. Little has had that conversation, along with some of the other commissioners that fully agree. So, yeah. Yeah, everybody may not have been privy to it because it would have been considered a forum. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Member Ivy?
Hopefully, when I return to next month's meeting, I'll be a little more educated and informed.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'll be attending
You're not
the
going?
Brownfield conference, and I'd like to thank the Brownfield board for sponsoring that.
It's part of being a member. Education.
All right. So thank everyone for coming. And I echo Miguel's comments that excited that we are getting out at a good hour. A couple of things based on what the member said. Commissioner Adams, in my opinion, that would be a good thing to spend 30 minutes on to talk to Teresa about, the purchasing. Because I don't know. Let me make sure Teresa's. Are you paying attention? I just want to make sure you're listening. Okay, wonderful. I saw you writing. So, because I don't know all the ins and outs about buying property, but I would think that would be a good time to spend the money on talking to her for 30 minutes to get in the ins and outs on how you do that, because I'm not sure, you're saying you want it on the agenda, but if you have a discussion with Teresa, she can let you know what we can do, or, because I'm not sure. So I'm saying, in my mind, that's a great time to talk to her, to get clarity on what you're asking about purchasing property. The next comment is,
Emergency meeting.
the whole agenda, Teresa, I guess you can look into that offline, that Commissioner Adams is asking about putting Trenton on the agenda. I would prefer we make sure he's available, but that's just me. And that's all I have. Thank you, guys, and have a great week. Teresa, go ahead.
I just wanted to mention that I did prepare a memo several months ago about what it would take if the board chose to purchase property, so I'm more than happy to resend
Resend
that
it.
out as a reminder.
If you don't mind, that would at least help me. And then if there's, let's see, is there anything else on here? Nope, the meeting, I have motion, the meeting be adjourned. Make a motion. I know, that's like record. So do you remember that, Commissioner? She's gonna resend that memo. Do you remember what she had in there? I don't remember.
I know